some questions. The first thing I want to address is, because we've been doing helping more borrowers with borrower defense lately, I want to talk about if you happen to take out Navient Private loans, there's an opportunity to also get your private loans discharged. I want to talk a little bit about that. I also want to talk about some group that is trying to attack the income-driven repayment waiver as a abuse of power by the president to challenge any discharge that has been already given, as well as that is about to be given. I want to talk a little bit about that. And of course, it is important because the president did extend income-driven repayment waiver. So it's important for people to understand that they should still apply, and we have 1 month to do so. So that's why I want to talk about some other related news. And then I want to answer a question we got in the comments last week about, does consolidation, if you decide to consolidate after you've already submitted an income-driven repayment form, are you required to submit your income docs again? I want to answer that question in video form as well, okay? So first and foremost, let's go over Navient Private Student Loans. If you have questions, and that is what I'm going to go over. If you have questions, please do list them. Please subscribe, please like, so we can reach more viewers. The majority of our viewers are not subscribed. So this information is helpful. Please share with other student loan borrowers as well. Now, let me go into it. So first and foremost, there are people who have received borrower defense and their loans discharged for schools on a list. I will link the list of schools that qualify for borrower defense below, okay? And if you think you're a good candidate, we may possibly be able to help. So you can email us at hello@myloansense.com if you'd like to ask a few quick questions if you're a good candidate. But also, there are people who got their loans discharged because their school was on a list of about 130 schools that were found to use deceptive recruiting practices, as well as predatory, as in promised specific jobs or promised specific opportunities that they were never realized. So these schools made it on lists. A lot of them are a lot of them are for-profits. So borrowers who went to those schools that got their public loans discharged, if you have taken out a loan from Navient, Navient also has a process where you could get your Navient private loans discharged, just because Navient was in a lawsuit by attorney generals of 40 different states, and they had to allocate something like $1.7 billion to fund forgiveness for private loans. So if you went to Navient, there is a process. If you took out Navient private loans in addition to public loans that ended up getting discharged, or that you can qualify to get discharged because you attended, like the Art Institute, for example, is a school. There's a bunch of different schools. Then you could possibly qualify to get your Navient loans discharged as well. Navient, of course, is not publicizing it as widely as they should. There was a whole New York Times article on the specific borrower who was having a hard time getting their loans discharged through Navient, even though it's a program that the lawsuit forced Navient to set up to discharge loans. Navient knew that these schools were doing deceptive recruiting practices, but also originating even private loans that were, for example, after the student or the borrower at the time dropped out, they should not be originating those loans, or there should be a refund. And Navient was aware and still was not doing anything. And so as a result, they got sued. That's how that fund got created. That's a little backstory. Now let's talk about income-driven repayment waiver. If you have not consolidated your loans and you took out a family educational loan, which was before 2014, you took it out and it was managed by a private entity like a bank, those still may be federal loans that you can consolidate and get all your prior payments counted and qualify to get, and also all your prior payments tracked to get on a pathway to loan forgiveness quicker. We highly recommend people do this if they have family educational loans, because most likely you will get a recount and get more payments counted, okay? Including the time that we were on pause during the pandemic. If you didn't make any payments for whatever reason, then you can get those payments. You can get the time in pause counted as well. So that's the benefit, number one. You can get up to 3 years of non-consecutive times of forbearance and deferment counted towards your 240 to 300 payments, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there so that you can, whatever is remaining and left over after those payments can then be forgiven. So I wanted to be very clear about that. A conservative think group, a conservative group sued in the district in where Michigan is, saying that the income-driven repayment waiver program was outside of the presidential. It's a presidential abuse of power, and that they basically said they were harmed because they can't use public service loan forgiveness to recruit candidates to their employers. And the court shot it down because just because the government forgives loans for people who have made errors because they were misinformed does not hurt the people who can get forgiveness. So the court shot it down, said it did not have merits, and they did not show sufficient harm by the program, which I'm really happy, because just because one group gets forgiveness because they work for public service entities does not mean that people who made mistakes because they were misinformed shouldn't also be able to get forgiveness. It doesn't harm them that one group gets forgiveness and the other who made mistakes, if they also get forgiveness, how does that harm the group that already gets forgiveness? It doesn't make sense. But they're trying to say, they're hoping that by saying, well, we can't recruit because everyone gets forgiveness, we should be able to have the special form of forgiveness so we can recruit. Makes no sense, because the people who are getting forgiveness are people who have made payments already, a lot of payments. It's not like they're waking up and their loans are forgiven. And a big part of me thinks that the people filing these lawsuits do not fully understand the student loan programs. It's not like you wake up one day and your student loans are forgiven. The income-driven repayment waiver is specifically for people who have made mistakes and or were misinformed by their servicer and their payments were not appropriately counted. Those are the people that get forgiveness and who get accelerated payment counts in the income-driven repayment waiver. So it's not like these people made no payments, right? So I just want to kind of demystify that, because there's a lot of belief, oh, they just get their loans forgiven for free, like they didn't do anything to deserve it. And it's just simply not true, okay? So if you are a person that took out family educational loans and you want to make sure the payments you have made have been counted, and the payments you have not made based on any type of forbearance or deferment will also get counted. So consolidate your student loans. If you have questions, if consolidation is the right path, we're available. You can contact us on our website, myloansense.com. We also have a phone number listed. If you have questions, you can call in, chat, text us, whatever method of communication is best and easiest for you. We are happy to answer your questions, okay? Additionally, I want to now talk about the question I was asked on a comment in the last video I made, okay? Which, if people are asking in the comments and over email to us, then it must be a question many people are wondering, right? So the question they asked is, if I consolidate my student loans, do I have to submit my income? The income, so I want to clarify, income submission is only required when submitting an income-driven repayment waiver form. If you're consolidating your loans and you are not renewing your income-driven repayment forms in terms of your renewal date is here, then you are not required to submit any proof of income. If you want that new consolidated loan to go onto an income-driven repayment plan, then you will need to submit your proof of income. However, this is what I want to specify. If you are making more money now than you did last tax year that you filed, then you can use the income from last tax year. You don't have to use the income from present if you make more money now. So people asking this, it's because they make more money now and they don't want to use their current income. They want to maintain the income-driven plan as well as the payment from the prior time they filed, which is possible. You would just say you would just check a box that basically allows you to submit your tax returns. I don't know what that question is off the top of my head because I have to look at the form, but at LoanSense, we will automatically do this for you. If you do want to use our service to file anything or to ask any questions about consolidation, we can help you consolidate, we can help you file, We can help you answer questions about the implication of filing your taxes jointly or separately from your spouse if you are in fact married, implications of starting a family, all that good stuff. If you've taken out Parent Plus loans, do you qualify? We can answer that. Yes, Parent Plus loans do qualify also for consolidation, and also double loophole consolidation, meaning you can consolidate twice to get access to save. That will end in 2025, but there's still more time, especially since the first round of consolidation, if you get it in before June 30th, will allow you to get all the prior payments counted. As well, we recommend double consolidation before income-driven repayment waiver ends, okay, for Parent Plus loans. That is all my news today. Let me know, again, if you have any questions. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we will link any of our contact information below if you have further questions. Have a great rest of the week.